Okay, so I've been getting a few questions about how to make the windshield, especially because there's two completely separate drawings. So one of the things I did was I went to just a graphing utility and got a piece of graph paper that was a little about 3 inches by 2 inches, took a screenshot of that, made it translucent, and put it in here so I could try and overlay this onto a graph and explain this. So if I take this windshield and we have all these measurements, you see this is our datum right here. So everything here is 0, 0. This is kind of the starting point. And I slide this and I put it 0, 0 on the graph. You can look at the measurements on this drawing and figure out a bunch of points. And if you can figure out the points and put them there ahead of time, you can then use a spline and just trace over your points, right? So if this one here is 0, 0, right? And this is telling me that to get to this point here, I have to go up 0.56 of an inch. And how far do I go over 0.5? So I know that that is going to be negative 0.5, comma, 0.56. And if you look in Onshape, you can do this from the origin, correct? All right, so I can look at another point, and right here, all right, so how far is this? That's 0.1, so this will be negative, or 1.0, comma, and how far is it over? It is over, or up. Well, I guess the first one should have been 0.31, and this one is going to be the 0.56. And then we can go and we can look at the next one right here. Right, that's going to be negative 1.5, comma. Right, and this one is the 0.75. So anyways, you can go through and figure out all these points ahead of time. Like over here, this one's going to be negative 3.01, comma, 0. And once you get all these points plotted, then you can just go back with the spline and click on all those points, and you'll get a pretty good shape of this, right? Well, the other way you can do it, if I just overlay this on the exact same spot, is a little simpler. Can anybody tell by looking at this drawing how they construct it? Now, don't answer if I've already told you. But if I go back and I just take this drawing, get this one out of the way. Instead of spline, anybody figure out what tool they use to make this? Arc. Very good. So if you look right here, from here to here, they put 2 points. They had an arc. Here's the center of the arc, and here's the radius of the arc. Then over here, we have another arc. Now, the center of this arc is actually below the screen, but we can tell it has a radius of 4 inches. So it's pretty big arc. And then over here, you can see it's not on this screen, but then this from here to here is another arc, and then this is just a line. I'd actually start by making this line first, and then plotting these 2 points, just like we talked about how to do down here, because if we can plot this point, connect them with a line, then plot this point and this point, and do an arc from here to here, make sure it has the right radius. You guys know how to do that. Then another arc here, another arc